Hey, lovely people. It's Jess. Okay, so I just want to share in this video an audiobook that I listened to yesterday. It's a really quick read, and it's a book by Don Miguel Ruiz. He was an author that was featured like 9 or 10 years ago on Oprah's show because she had read the book and just found so many excellent gems. And hello, King of Kill, aka Teddy. And I listened to it with a recommendation of another YouTuber. And oh my goodness, this book, whether you listen to it via audiobook, like on Audible or something, well, it's only going to be Audible, or there's also libraries that have this book, of course, or you go ahead and just buy the book like on Amazon. It's a really good read. I happened to listen to the audiobook while I was just out doing errands. I just had my AirPods in and was just listening to this audiobook, and I actually had to go back on a few key points. But I love the book because it's very simple. It's almost this really simple guide book that you can have where it helps you to just live a better life. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. So, and hopefully you can hear me in this video and everything. Let me see something because let me make sure I'm showing up on the right place. Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, cool gamer. Hello. Welcome in. So anyway, let me know if you can hear me, cool gamer. If the audio is wonky, I'll need to know. But okay, the first tip that the book starts off with is this point of being impeccable with your word. And I am a big believer that words have literal energy, and whatever you say will actually go out to work for you. And in the book, they reference some religion in the book, Christianity, like if you read the Bible and you notice that it starts with the word, right? And that's what creates everything. Well, Don Miguel Ruiz in this book, he's basically making the point that you are creating things with your word, whether you're talking to yourself. You know, we all have self-talk, negative self-talk and positive self-talk, right? And oh, thank you, cool gamer. And the power that you have with your words that you can put on yourself or other people. And he actually relates it to, you actually can either bless someone with your words or you can curse someone with your words. You can curse yourself with your words or you can bless yourself with your words. So he starts out with saying you need to be impeccable with your words, right? So one thing that I have to point out is this idea of impeccable and why he uses that word in particular. And it is, the word impeccable means not to sin. So, not to sin. And this idea that you are actually sinning against yourself when you are using words that you really don't mean. So, when someone says, oh, they're so stupid, they don't really want to put out there and put out an energy and speak on themselves to make themselves stupid, right? Or when a mother tells their child, oh, your voice is so ugly. He uses this in the book. He may not mean that. They may just be saying that because, oh my gosh, they just want a second to think. And the child continues screaming and singing and all of these things. Well, that word that you're putting out actually goes out to work for you. And so this is the first one. I'm just going to put it up on the screen about your word. That was just amazing to me because, I mean, it's definitely true. And I don't see anyone in here anymore. Let me actually share myself out because I haven't been here in a minute. I've been on vacation. So let me go to my channel and share myself out. But I want to get into the other points because that was the biggest. And I already believe in the whole idea that your words are super, super powerful. I already really subscribe to that. So that was not something that I needed to necessarily be sold on, but it was definitely like eye opening in the way that Don Miguel Ruiz really puts it out there and says, look, to be impeccable, you need to not sin against yourself. Okay, sorry, y'all. I forgot I have to share myself out when I am on YouTube. So that was the first one. I was just like, you know what? We really have to be super careful about what we're saying, not just about ourselves, because I am very big on what I think about myself and what I say and speak out loud about myself, but also this idea that you can be cursing other people with things that you really don't mean to say. So really just say what you mean and be more conscious of the things that you say that you really don't mean. Hello, Edward. Shout out to my member Edward in the chat. He's also a YouTube creator. Welcome, and my moderator for today. Hello, Sheree. How are you? Also a content creator. Okay, let's be impeccable with your word. This is the first point, and I think it's good to have this as the first one because this is where everything starts. You're going to be talking out loud, you're going to be talking to other people, and you really do have to be conscious of what you're saying and bringing it back into this idea that whatever you speak out of your mouth, you are creating it, right? You are almost like you could be putting someone into a spell just by the words that you're using, right? So the next point, and I'm going to bring this up on the scene so you can see it. Don't take anything personally. Now, this one really hit home, okay? Because for me, I am a person that is pretty responsible. Like I feel responsible sometimes for other people. And it's a constant reminder for myself to, just when something's not going your way or someone says something to you that you don't like or does something that you don't like, a lot of times, most of the time, it's nothing on you. It has nothing to do with you. Whatever they're doing has to do with them and their world. It's not about you. Something I wrote down is that when people say or do things, it's not about you. And this allows you to not give other people that power. So if someone happens to say, I use this example a couple of times. You're out and about, you're living your life, la, 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 you're at the mall. A guy asks you for your number. And you say no. And they say, oh, well, you're ugly anyway. That has nothing to do with you, right? That has nothing to do with you. That is all about them. Or you're at work and someone says something about your work. Oh, what you submitted is terrible, and this is why, and that's why, and this, that, and whatever. They may be having a tough day themselves. In the office, I know some of us are going back into the workplace. This is something we have to keep in mind. Folks are saying things out loud, not even really caring about you. It's all about them. And there are a lot of external factors that we walk into, and it has nothing to do with us. So we have to remember, we are responsible only for ourselves and what we say and what we do, not what other people do, right? That is out of our control, and it really has nothing to do with us. And I think in today's society, you guys know I'm a millennial. You all know that. I do feel that we're raised to think very self-centered in the sense of if someone does something, it's my fault. I am my brother's keeper. I am responsible for this other person, but listening to the audiobook, it really helps you think about the fact that really no, you come into this world by yourself. You're responsible for yourself. You can only control those things that you do and what you say. So why are you worried and stressed or allowing other people to bring their negative energy or whatever they have going on into your energy, right? That's how, going back to the being impeccable with your word, and this point that the author makes about how someone can place a spell on someone and curse someone with their words. Well, if you don't take anything personally and someone says something with their words, they just brush off your shoulder, right? You're not taking it personally. I love that point. I think it's something that I personally will have to continue to work on and think about. But I love the point that he makes, and it goes right into the next point. And this is the next point. I'm bringing it up on the screen here. Don't make assumptions. Do not make assumptions. There's a fire truck going by, so I don't know if you can hear that. Don't make assumptions. Let me stop and wait for this fire truck to go by, and I'm gonna read my points. Okay. Yes, I loved this one. I really did. Let me put the comments up on here for a second. I think it is gone by now. I'll leave you up there, Cherie. Okay, so don't make assumptions. I feel like everyone needs this tip just in general life, whether it's work life, you're going out to buy something, you're just dealing with people. At this point, the few things that I wrote about this one is don't be afraid to ask questions. A lot of mistakes happen because we're assuming things. We're assuming that, for example, this is referenced in the book, we're assuming that our partner knows everything about us. They know exactly what we want. We assume that our friends know exactly what we want, right? So I just recently had a birthday. I could assume that people are going to naturally know my birthday, right? But that's really not true. You don't make the assumption. You might as well just speak up and say, hey, it's my birthday. Silly example that was not used in the book. But really thinking about the fact that not everyone is going to know things about you. They're not going to know what you want. Also, knowing that other people have their own agenda, right? So let's say when I was looking for my car, there's a set of questions I really had to ask to make sure that I really knew all the details. Now, things could have went really badly. I had a really good car buying experience. But things could have went really badly if I was too afraid to ask questions and I just assumed certain things. Like I assumed that I would get certain things with my car, right? Or I'm paying certain things or not paying certain things. This could happen especially, you guys know what I talk about a lot of the time is when getting a job. You can make assumptions about a job and a company, but if you don't ask the questions, you can make assumptions and then get into a situation that you really just did not want, right? So, all that to say, this was a good reminder. I think most people generally should know that we shouldn't be just making assumptions, but I definitely see it generally when it comes to business, folks just making assumptions about things and then paying for it later because they just assumed, or maybe they thought about something and then just assumed that this and that was going to happen when you could have easily asked the question and actually known what you're getting yourself into. The other thing is about the relationships, right? I thought that was a really key thing because oftentimes with relationships, how things go wrong is communication. Oh, well, I thought you wanted to have kids. Now we're married and they don't want to have kids and really settle down like how I imagine settling down would be. This is not my vision of what marriage is, but this is their vision of marriage. We have two different visions. And I just assumed that we were on the same page. Well, we never talked about it. I never asked, right? So these assumptions that can creep in, whether it's a small assumption or a big assumption, it can really play out and manifest itself in different ways in your life. The next point I want to talk about is always do your best. And this sounded kind of silly to me, and I'm going to put it up on the screen. Let me find it. Always do your best. I was kind of like, okay, always do your best. Of course, you're going to do your best. Why wouldn't I be doing my best? But the takeaways I have on this is living by this practice of I am always going to do my best. If you think about it, it really takes away guilt that you might have or this feeling. If you ever felt like on a Friday at the end of the week, you just didn't get everything done or you didn't do everything exactly how you wanted it to be. Well, if you're living your day every single day and you're doing your best, and once your day is done, you can go, I did my best today, right? Things may not have been perfect, knowing that we're not all perfect, right? Things may not have gone perfect. This may not have happened. That may not have happened. But you know what? I did my best. And I really do feel when I think about those simple words, if everyone lives by this, it really will take away some of the stress that you have in terms of like, oh, I wish I had done that, or just the regret that you may have about something. In terms of my content on this channel with job seekers, you go to an interview and they ask these questions. I've been there, right? They ask these questions and you have to share these examples or you have to answer in a certain way. You leave the interview and you're like, oh man, right? Oh man, I should have said this. Why did I say that? I could have said this so much differently. I have this other example I could have used that's way better than what I use. But guess what? That time has passed. You prepared for the interview. You walked into that interview. You answered questions the best you could in that moment, and you step away from it. It's done, right? How much stress would you be able to walk away from if you just live by that principle? I'm doing my best every single day. I am doing my best, right? So I love that. The other point that I made is if you live by that principle, how these different principles align is that if I'm doing my best, I'm going to do my best with being impeccable with my word. I may not always be impeccable, but I am going to do my best every single day to do so, to not take anything personally, to not make assumptions. I am doing my best. So if something happens or I say something that was not impeccable or without sin, based on the definition, which is it is derived from Latin, well, hey, it's all right. Every single day, I'm going to do my best of the thing. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be perfect every time, but I'm going to do my best. And with that, it's actually going to help me be more impeccable with my word, because that negative talk is going to be less and less, because you know what? I'm doing my best. The negative talk can't creep in there and say, oh, you're terrible. You just used that word and that's not good and this and that. I did my best. So I love these simple sayings and how well broken down it is. The other point I had about that with always doing your best is taking action, right? We can, through life every day, we can kind of sit there and say, ooh, I would love to do that. I want to do that one day. Well, if you're actually living your best every day, you're going to say, I'm going to do that today, right? If I can do that, if there's a way, I'm going to do it today. I need to do this, that, and whatever. You're going to take more action if you're doing your best every day. You're going to be living life. You're not going to be sitting in this fear mindset of, I can't do that or I won't do that. Well, if you're actually doing your best, you're going to be more action oriented if you actually live by that principle. Thank you, Edward. Please do hit the like button, share the live. I haven't been on a live in a while, so it's probably going to seem pretty weird for people to see me on a live chat. But yes, please do share the live. Okay, so these are the points. The other things I just wanted to mention and highlight about this audiobook. The author, Don Miguel Ruiz, he was highlighted on Oprah's show 10 years ago. It is an old book. It's nothing new. It's new to me because a YouTuber suggested it, and it is a really good read. It's a quick read, just out doing my errands. I want to say the audiobook may have been 40 minutes or so. There are some references to the Bible, so there's some Christian references to it, word origins, language, setting intentions, magic via the power of your mouth, your words, right? And then energy, this idea of energy. And if you have watched me for a while, like Edward and King of Kill, you're going to know that I am a big believer that everything is energy. Anything I'm putting out, that is energy. And I do believe that it comes back. I don't believe energy just goes away. I do believe that if I'm saying something, that is energy that is going to do something, it's going to manifest. If I'm writing something, it's going to manifest. If I'm watching something on television, or if I'm creating something to be watched, all of these different things, all of this energy is out there and it doesn't go away. So it is going to manifest in some format, right? The other thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if you can see my eyes. The last time I was on the live chat, for those that know, for my members, you were able to re-see it. I had one eye color. I had an eye color that was brown. I want to say it was this one. Yes, it was. This one was hazel. This one was brown, my natural color. So I'm going to actually move to my next live chat. I'm going to be sharing some customer service jobs that are online in a few minutes. But I wanted to just point out that the contacts, they were fine. Someone came in here. I want to say it was Ashay, one of my subscribers, basically was saying just clean it, and it'll be fine. And they were right. I actually just let it soak. I didn't bring these contacts with me when I was on vacation. If you guys know, I went on vacation last week. So I had some other contacts with me though, because you guys know I wear contacts naturally. But these colors are Salotica Oak Gray, and they're really growing on me. I'm really learning to like them a lot. But yes, I was able to put both of the contacts in my eye this time. So that's a win, right? And I just needed to soak them, and I soaked them for a whole week because I wasn't wearing them. But these are yearly contacts, so I'll probably be popping up here, trying these and some others out just randomly. So if you see me with different, eye colors, that's why. I'm just trying some different things out. But overall, the book, the audiobook, The 4 Agreements, I really, really, really like them. I mean, all of these agreements I can stick to. I love that they are all simple. Be impeccable with your word. That's easy to remember. And this idea that impeccable means without sin. And if you are putting out words that you really don't mean, right? Or if you're speaking words negatively against yourself and others, that you're sinning. That is sin, right? If you really look at the origins of that word impeccable. So we're going to be without sin when we are speaking words out into the universe. The second one was don't take anything personally. That's about stress, right? That is about, you know what? I am responsible for myself. I'm not taking your stuff personally. If you say whatever about me, it's just going to roll off my back. So in terms of gossip, everyone's been there. Someone's said some gossip about you, rolls off my back. If you're gossiping about me, that says whatever about you, right? So that type of mindset, responsible for myself, not you. And then the next one, don't make assumptions. That's a key. Like, just ask the questions. We can have better relationships. We can have better lives. We can have better business practices. We can get better jobs. We can get better pay. We can get better everything if we are thinking about the fact that we should not be making assumptions. Ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't think it's a silly question. Just ask it. What's going to happen if you ask a question to get clarification on something? Say things back to people to clarify, right? What I'm hearing is this. I say this a lot of the time when I'm talking about job interviewing, but I also think this is important in regular work life. I do this all the time. So, what I'm hearing you say, just to clarify, I do it in email, IM messages, face to face. Like, okay, what you were saying is, because I want to make sure that I'm not just assuming that I'm hearing you correctly, right? You could say some words and really not mean what you say. And I could be going off of that, and it's totally something different, right? Better relationships. What, you want kids, I don't want kids. We didn't talk about this. Now we're married and we both made this assumption. Whoops. Right? So I love that. Then the last one, always do your best. I think this is also a good one for being able to relieve some stress in our daily life, right? Look, I did my best. It also helps us to be more action oriented, because if we're like, hey, we're doing our best, we're going to live our life to the fullest, we're going to be action oriented, we're not going to be fearful to do things. We're going to say, look, for this day, I'm doing my best this day. If I want to do or accomplish this goal, I'm doing what I can today. I'm doing my best to do that today, right? And I feel like these 4 simple principles really hit on a lot of things that we struggle with as people in our daily lives. So if you can find the book, it is on Audible as an audiobook. If you are interested in that type of format, it's really an easy read. If you want to actually get the paperback and order it via Amazon too, it's like $15 either way. So you can have it in an audiobook forever, I think on Audible, or you can purchase the book. I like both. I like audiobooks when I'm just like, about my day and I can listen to some stuff, or working as well. And I also like books during times like if I'm taking a trip or if I'm just sitting out somewhere by the pool, relaxing, I can read. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me just look at the comments. Edward said, true. Back to normal. Yes, back to normal. Hello, Shar. Welcome in. I didn't see you before. All right. So I'm going to pop over to the other live chat where I'm going to be sharing 3 customer service jobs. If you would like to follow that video, it is on my YouTube channel right now. So I'm going to pop over and I will see you then. Bye.